Hey family and friends, real quick update here, or it's part of the update. Today we have something interesting going on. It is hydroseeding. So the gentlemen behind me are essentially doing one of the very final steps of the house lift process, which is let's get some grass to stabilize these banks that with all the new dirt. So it's pretty interesting. So pretty straightforward. There's a big tank in the front yard and he's just pumping water and seeds through the hose. And then I'll set up some sprinklers once they're done and we'll get this grass started. And then if there's ever a flood, again, and hopefully the banks won't wash away like we had with the septic yesterday, or last time. So this mound here is our septic pressure mound. And when we had our flooding 3 years ago, that corner of the mound washed away because we had just put the septic system in, and so the grass wasn't established yet. And so that's why we're doing the hydroseeding is to prevent that sort of washout from happening again. Now this section right here without the seeds, that's the driveway for the UTV, comes down here. And we also have a little driveway up and around to the front of the house over there. And then that section over there is, we'll probably put gravel down. But this is the back of the house. And so this section over here won't get as much force from the water as that side over there, which is, again, the river where the water comes from is over in that direction. And that's the machine right there. That's a water tank at the front. And that's the hydro tank that they put the seed and water mix in. And then the loud noise obviously is the pump that's pumping that mixture through this hose. So they're just now refilling the tank. Now they just mixed up a new batch and they have the line going back into the tank, and so they're just mixing it right now by pumping the solution through their lines, and then he's holding the valve, sorry, the hose is up at the tank, and so they just have a closed loop right now. It's a pretty interesting setup. This white tank over here is just the water tank. And they have one trash pump right there that's used to transfer the water from that tank into this hopper. That hopper has its own trash pump over here that's a bigger size and a spool of hose. And that's the one that they add all the seeds and the fertilizer and stuff. And that's what ultimately gets pumped out onto our field. So it looks like a pretty straightforward setup. They're just using two different size trash pumps. This one's, this first one's a smaller size one, and this one's a pretty beefy one. And that looks like a 2 or 3 inch hose, but it's pretty long. So kind of pretty interesting process. And then the earlier video I zoomed in on the hose, you could see it's translucent, so you can see it where the seeds were clumping. And so they're trying to get that to a consistent state, which is why they're spraying it back into the hopper. Okay, so then taking a closer look to what they're pumping out. So you see there's some blue, probably fertilizer, and then the grass seeds all mixed in. And so my mission now is to not waste this. And so I bought a whole bunch of sprinklers that I'll set up on timers so that the grass has the best fighting chance to grow. And of course I'm out here with my trusty steed Maple. Hey little Mapes. She's out here making sure the field is free from predators while the gentlemen do their work with the hydroseeding. And the folks just finished up. So here's the whole sort of yard hydroseeded. just in case anyone cares, talking to the gentleman about watering schedules, they recommended 7 to 8 times a day. Give it a hose, a water. Being the Pacific Northwest, we do get rain. We're not quite to the fully dry season yet. So like next week we'll get some rain. That'll help. And so my job over the rest of today is to set up a whole bunch of sprinklers just to make sure that this stuff survives. But can't wait, because this really is symbolizing the end of the construction process.